Hi, I'm Brian. I just bought a next-gen generator for my Prout 39 catamaran. I'm in Florida. Because of the COVID, it's going to be a hot summer. Instead of going Bahamas, Maine, or anywhere nice and cool, I'm going to stay here. And I want to go over why I got it and how we're going to install it. I have a gas generator, but it's not safe having it on the stern. You never know when gas is going to flame up. Fumes are bad. Plus, I wanted the dependability of being able to run the generator offshore when sailing. I use the autopilot, do a lot of single handling. So I want to run all my instruments for say 3 or 4 days at a time without running the engines. This is going to take care of that. I bought this direct from NextGen. It is by far the best for the money that I could find. It comes with a single cylinder Kubota engine and has a generator here, engine here. I'm going to squeeze all this into a little spot in here, and I will go over all the systems that have been installed. Hi, I'm Brian from Haston Yacht here in Florida. I'm going to be installing this next-gen generator. This next-gen generator is going to be installed under the cockpit floor. So, knowing it's coming, I came in, started getting everything ready. This generator is 6 inches wider than the hole that it's going in, so it's going to have to go in at an angle. I've already set it in, pulled it out. I was lucky that I went to talk to NextGen and they loaned me the outside case so I could see that it would physically fit in the boat, because the tolerances are really close. I'm going to have about 2 inches on either side to spare, and that's it. So, knowing I don't have enough room to do all the systems once it's in, I went ahead and ran all the systems. Fuel system's done, electrical, DC 110. The control cables have already been run, exhaust, and I'll go through each system. Okay, so what I did to have a spot to mount this on, I cleaned out the area, put down some resin, put in treated 2x6s, mounted those in the hull. And also, you can see here, I mounted 2x6s on here, so that what I'm going to do is set this down in the hole and screw it all down together. The reason I did this, I wanted to make sure of the height, because the water is going to have to run downhill from the engine to the exhaust and then back out of the boat. So, let's go through the systems. I don't know if you can see it. This is the brake core assembly. I put a bulb on it, squeeze bulb, so I can pressurize the system. I do that with all of my engines here. I got the exhaust hose ready. This is the return line, control wires, DC wires, 110s. So we're looking good in here. What I did for the exhaust, I hole sawed through, went down in the aft cabin, built a shelf out of wood, fiberglassed it in, mufflers there. This boat at one time had a Fisher Panda exhaust, so I came back up to the original water separator, then the exhaust to go out the stern. I'll have a transfer switch over here for the 110 shore power, and it'll run to a control box in the cabin. This is the port side aft cabin next to my main engine. This will be the water intake. Comes in, I'll have a lower loop here, then it'll go to the generator. And back here is the muffler. I put it about 18 inches below the generator itself, just glassed in a little shelf. It'll come up, go to a water separator, then behind this wall, that's where it'll go through the hole. Because this unit comes in a case, it'll build up a lot of heat. So I put a blower motor back here. It'll suck all the air out of the case into this area, which vents out of the stern. The vessel that this generator is going in has been at anchor for a while, and we're doing the whole job on the hook. I went to NextGen and talked to them about what I wanted. They opened it up at the shop and went over in detail how everything should be wired up, engine lifted. I've already unbolted the starter. So this will be our lifting point right here. This is a great spot. We used a main halyard from the dock, took the bimini down, lifted it up, brought it in, set it right here, and I'll take this bimini back down in a bit. We'll tie on here, use the winch off the main, and we'll go in at quite an angle to get underneath here. Then once it's in, we've got our fuel, water, and all of our electrical right here, all on one side. The exhaust will come out this end over here. It's got a nice high riser, keep the water out of the engine. And I think it's going to work great. And a big shout out to the guys at Next Gen. Thank you very much. So this is the main halyard. Be working off this winch right here. Tie the line on, give me a little extra room. But the starter goes here. So I'll tie on it the starter ring. And we'll lift from here, which balances it pretty good. Then this side, we'll definitely have to go quite a bit lower to swing into the spot. It's gonna go great. Yeah. Stainless steel. All right. So I'll get you to operate the winch. We're gonna swing this out. Lower this side in first. It's gonna go great. Come on up. Remember, it's got 2 speeds.
Yes, I remember.
There you go. Doing good. Doing good. Come on. Come on. Doing good. Come on. There you go. Hold it right there. You gonna come down with it, or you want me to?
I can do it.
Okay.
You all right?
Come down slow.
Okay.
Very slow.
Oh.
Doing good. Doing this. Come slow. Slow. Come on slow. Come on down. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Doing great. Hold it.
Keep going.
Come on down a little more. A little more. A little more. A little more. Hold it. Make sure everything's out of the way. All right. That's the unit in the hole. So we'll put the bimini back up and get to work. So the plan now, we set the generator in. Now I want to make sure it's where it's supposed to be exactly, where I would screw it down. And first I'm going to put the tops on the case. Make sure that goes in and out, no problem. Everything else should line right up from there on out. So once the case fits, I'll screw it down. Then it's just a matter of hooking up all the hoses and wires. Can't wait. Okay, let's try the tops and see if it fits. Come on. Yeah, perfect. Be plenty of room. I'm gonna double check, then it'll be time to screw it down and get it finished. So, next I'll go ahead and screw that down. I'm gonna use exterior wood screws. These will last. Plus they're easy to pull up later if I need to. All right, this is gonna be screwed down for a couple of reasons. One, it would have taken forever to get the exact measurements to fit over the 4 bolts when everything's perfect when I can't reach it. So with this, I can screw it down, then when I want to lift it, I take 4 nuts off, the generator comes right out. Real easy, lasts forever. Had to make a homemade extension. Thank you, Craftsman. Okay, screw this down. Time to start the hoses and the wiring. This is a starter that was removed so I could use the lifting eye to lift it. So I'll go ahead and install this, then continue on with the installation. Just like so. Okay, one just going up here. Blue goes back here. Hope it fits. This is the AC main power cord. You know you did a good job when you do it twice. Oh man, this is so much. I'll tell you what, I don't think this isn't gonna take long. Then it's water, fuel, then exhaust. Control panel's already hooked up. I gotta hook these wires up. It'll take a few minutes, but not long. That's one more thing I wanted to do on this. If it comes time that I need to remove the generator, I can undo all of the wires, hoses, etc. Or my option was I left extra wires, control wires. The only thing I didn't leave enough was the exhaust hose because that's just ridiculous. But everything else, I left enough length. I can cut some tie wraps, pull the generator out, set it up here, and leave everything connected. So who knows, but that'll be a big plus. This generator is a 3.5 kW diesel. Right now I have a 2000 watt Honda, which Honda's great and all, but the Honda will not give me air conditioning plus battery charging. And there are times when I do want air conditioning and charging at the same time. So that's a big plus. This unit should run 2 good size AC units, plus multiple little things. Or like me, I like to work on things, so I need saws, drills, etc. This will handle all of that. It'll be a big plus.
So does it explain in the manual how to put all this stuff together, or do you just know?
It kind of does, not really. It's vague and it shows pictures of a different generator. So if you knew nothing, could you do it? It'd be difficult. You'd have to really think.
You'd have to think and already know, right?
Yeah, it's not that hard if you've been around it, but it's kind of vague on the instructions. But the guys at Next Gen will be happy to answer all your questions. Really good guys. Okay, it's not shorting out. This is a good sign. So I just worked my way in so I wouldn't be crossing over one hole versus the other hole. Plus I wanted to make sure the wires coming in came in the correct order so they would all line up on the inside at the right place. And I wanted my exhaust to be the last thing I work on, just for space.
I'm a supervisor for this whole project.
That's what a supervisor does, isn't it? They sleep and they say, hurry up! The power for the blower motor comes from this terminal block here. It's not on the instructions, but I just put this wire through with the negative cable coming from the battery. It'll come in, and I'll hook it up right here. Next, I will put on the cover that I removed in order to remove the starter. I had to move the water pump back. So pull the cover, move the starter, and pump. And on this cover is the breaker. So a hot wire will be mounted here, and the neutral and ground will go on the terminal right down below. Then the 4 screws to hold the cover.
Exactly. That's what.
What are you talking about?
I think you're right. I totally agree with you. That's what we do.
Yeah.
The positive there and the negative down there. It's the ground, of course. No brainer.
Cover.
So what's the cover for?
This cover is a belt protector. Keeps your fingers or anything else getting caught in the belt that goes from the generator to the water pump. I'm putting this little screw here. It holds the main power wire. Just a very tight little area. Okay, one more wire. That should be all the wires. This boat about $2,500 labor. What did it cost? A lot of labor. There's a lot of time spent getting everything ready. Some boats will be easier, some harder.
Have you ever done this before?
Not this exact. I've pulled enough engines in and out and transmissions that I have no idea how many I've done. But I think this is my first new generator install. I've done used ones. I don't think I've ever bought a new one and installed it.
Coming in or going out?
This is water coming in.
Do you have a separate hose for going out?
I do. It comes out the exhaust hose. On this unit, you have antifreeze that circulates through the engine. There'll be a heat exchanger. So raw water comes in, runs through the heat exchanger, goes out the mixing elbow with the exhaust. It goes to a water lock, and it comes up to a water separator, separates the water from the air, and it goes out the back of the boat. So with that extra unit, it should make it really quiet. Each thing added here makes a huge difference. Like the cover makes it quiet, and then do the exhaust that away makes it quiet. So the goal would be, when we run it in a bit, that we can still talk while it's running.
Why are there two?
Because diesel will take in more than it uses. So you have a large intake, then you have a return line that runs back to the tank for the unused diesel. Right now I'll hook up the 1/4-inch return line. This unit also, easy to change the oil, and the filter you pull out, clean, and replace. That makes it real easy to do oil changes out island. This is the fill line. It's 5/16. Comes out of the tank to a fuel water separator. And right here. Everything is hooked up except the exhaust. This has been the trickiest one out of the whole bunch. Nothing's rubbing, that's good. And for those of you who think I just sit all day and do nothing, this is not an abnormal day. These relays are interchangeable. Thank goodness. So, with the relays in, I'll bypass the oil pressure switch, which should turn on the fuel pump. I'm giving it a visual inspection. You got a belt on each side. I don't see anything that could get caught in the belts. I believe everything is hooked up. Looks great. I'm going to go turn on the water. Then I will start the unit and double check everything. Make sure my water's on. So, I'm going to hold down preheat and let's start this thing. Good there? Turn it back off and we'll put the cover on. And this is the air vent hose. Hooks to the blower motor. That should suck the air out. Keep it all nice and cool. Now, for the time I've been waiting for to see how quiet it is with the floor. And here she goes. Not bad.
No.
And this should quiet it.
Nice.
That's not bad.
No, that's quiet.
Yeah, that's pretty nice.
Success! Long time waiting on this. Very happy with it. Yeah, blowing good air. So inside, I mounted the on-off switch and the hour meter. So I'll preheat here. And let's see this thing start up. Turn power off. Here we go. And we do have power. Turn on the main. See what the air conditioner does. Oh, that is so sweet. This is awesome. I'll get the fans going. Moment of truth. Will the battery charger work? It didn't even blink. Man, I'll turn everything. As you can see by voltage that I'm at about 124 volts. So I'm using quite a bit of power. Battery charger's going and it's charging all the batteries. AC's on. Everything's running great. Success. A lot of work, but well worth it. Thank you, Next Gen. Thank you very much. So we first installed this hose, and as you can see, they get hot, they pull tight, doesn't do well. This is much better. Yeah, big difference. Go with the heavy hose. The generator went great. The install went very nice. Everything works great. Haston Yacht's the place to go. You need something installed. If you need your boat delivered, need anything taken care of, I'll be in Florida for a while. I'm in Sarasota. Just give us a call. Thank you. Like and subscribe my video, please.